Good morning. It's currently 5:57. I told myself yesterday that I was gonna get up early today because Bree, who's here on YouTube, I'll leave her link down below, is hosting some writing sprints this morning on this fine Monday morning. She's hosting them at 9 a.m. her time, and that's 6 a.m. for me. So, but the thing is, I've been wanting to get up earlier, so I figured committing myself to this was a good way to make sure that I actually got up. Especially when you work freelance and you work from home, sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself to do things because there's no one in an office or a building somewhere waiting for you. So sometimes it's nice to kind of like find your own accountability. So I'm up, I've got my coffee made, I'm sitting in front of my laptop, and I am ready to do some Monday morning writing sprints.
Kind of just messed around on my tablet and I condensed them just because the world is very big and I spread the realms out quite a bit.
Good morning. I don't remember where I put this fantasy map. I remember making it. I made it in like June. I made a video about it. It's on my channel. It's called Creating a Realistic Fantasy Map, because I was like trying to visualize where the realms are. And I knew that the first realm is supposed to be near the third realm, and that needs to make sense with something that I'm just tweaking kind of, or I'm ironing out. But I don't know where I put this map. It's probably on my tablet somewhere, because now that I'm watching the video, I did like digital drawing of it, so it's gotta be on the tablet. Thank goodness I make videos, because sometimes I forget things, and if I've made a video about it, at least I can figure out what I was doing at the time, and I can try to like figure things out based on that. Good morning. I spent 10 minutes talking to the camera because something worked itself out in my brain and I just like had to get it out as quickly as possible. And the past, I think I mentioned, there's a lot of patterns going on right now. I think I mentioned it already, but basically since not the beginning of December actually, probably mid-December when I headed back to Ontario, I have been obviously able to dedicate much more time towards writing. So I've been trying to get in the habit of doing that in the hopes that when I go back to work next week, because we're still on holiday shutdown, I've built up some writing routines and habits so that I can try and stick to those. I've been getting up at 5:30 for the past 2 days, literally yesterday and today. I kind of tried to like work up to it, and to be fair, because when I came from Ontario to here, there's a 3-hour difference. So if I was waking up at like 8 a.m. in Ontario, it's more like 5 a.m. here. So I figured I would take advantage of the slight jet lag and start waking up early for the purpose of getting myself sorted and having a good start to my day. I like to have like a quiet, peaceful start to my day. And I'm obviously just hoping that that routine and developing those habits is going to be good for my writing. So it's 8:30 now. I wrote for an hour this morning, probably a bit more, but I wasn't tracking all of it. And I basically, since starting to dedicate more time to writing, there are just so many ideas that are coming to me and things that are working themselves out. Like the thing that I was talking about in the video clip this morning was basically the backstory of kind of like a false antagonist. I don't really know what to call him, but his backstory and therefore his motivation was a little bit murky at first. And then something came to me this morning And I started talking through it, and as I was working through this idea, I realized that like having this idea, it was like a perfect puzzle piece sliding into place. Like all of these other things that happen in the story would make more sense if this is his backstory, and it would make those things stronger. And sometimes I just feel so lucky when I get an idea like that, because I'm like, that's it. Like, get that down, write that on paper, do it as fast as possible before it disappears from my brain. So I got that out. I also answered some other questions that I was still missing. I'll be honest, there is a little bit of backstory and motivation that needs to be cleared up when it comes to the love interest. I have a general idea, but I would just kind of like to confirm things or clarify things a little bit further before jumping into the new draft. And then once I have the love interests situation figured out a little bit more, I might be ready to actually start like planning this next draft. I've been doing a little bit, but it's mostly been just like collecting all of the notes and ideas that I have and trying to put them in one place. But now I'm at the point where I need to go through all those notes. I need to highlight any new scenes that need to be added. And then normally I do like a section for new scenes so that I know what I'm picking from and I can try to figure out where those can go. I had the first half of Act 1 figured out as of last week up until the inciting incident. And now we're in the kind of like back and forth deciding to answer the call of adventure section, and I figured that out this morning. So all of Act 1 is pretty much figured out now. Lots of Act 2 is figured out, just in the sense that I have a lot of scenes to be added and I know which ones I'm going to be keeping, and I kind of just need a little bit of a better outline for how I'm going to weave everything together. And we're getting so close. Like, I think if I continue to spend a couple hours a day, at least for the rest of this week, focusing on figuring out these things for Between the Waves, then I think I might actually have like an outline ready to go by the end of the week, which would be really exciting because it means that we can start on draft 4. But right now I feel like I need to go for a walk. It's 8:30, so I'm gonna go for a walk and probably grab an energy drink. I had half a cup of coffee this morning, but I don't have any coffee left now. And I don't really feel like coffee at the moment. Wild for me, I know, but I do feel like an energy drink, so I'm probably gonna go grab one of those like yerba mates and take advantage of going for a walk while I'm at it, getting some exercise in. And I'm gonna listen to a podcast from the Unpublished podcast, which is hosted by Amy she runs the Instagram account Inspired to Write, which I've shared on my channel multiple times, I think. So they just posted one called How Artists Should Set Intentions for the New Year, which obviously like lines up perfectly with the video that I'm gonna have to film today. So I'm gonna listen to that podcast, go for a walk, get some exercise in, grab an energy drink, and then yeah, we're gonna get into it. Okay, so I have filmed the 2025 goals video, which means I've also got my goals set up on my computer in my Notion now, which is super fun. And now it's 12:30. Feels wild that I've been up for like 7 hours already, but I'm gonna go for a walk in the forest because it's almost sunny and I have been inside all day so far. I just need to get out and go say hi to the trees. It's now Wednesday, so New Year's Day. I went to bed at like 10 p.m. last night and I have no regrets about it. I'm not a big New Year's person, honestly. And also, like I like setting goals and stuff, but I kind of do that monthly anyways. And I did not feel like partying. So I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to go to bed at 10 p.m. And I did. That was a great choice. I've also spent some time today writing out a little bit of a YouTube plan just for January. I sat down and wrote out a bit of a plan just for the upcoming videos, basically for the next month at least, and there's specifically going to be one video per week. I know I've been uploading quite a bit lately, especially over the holidays, and that's because I kind of have the time to. However, work is going to start up again next week, and I know that when it does start up, my priority for creativity is going to be mostly focused on writing as opposed to YouTube. However, I am like putting plans in place so that YouTube doesn't just like fall off the face of the earth again like it has in the past. So I have videos planned. This Friday I'm going to put up this vlog. I was actually going to put the New Year goals video up on Friday, but then I was like, well, why don't I put it up like on January 1st? After that, I'm going to do a video around outlining for the new draft, and then I'm going to do a video around starting a new draft. I also have a creative, more like, I would like it to be more of a like cinematic poetic video. I'm gonna like go spend some time in nature, write some poetry, and just make like a little kind of video journal about it. So those are some like brainstorming ideas that I have coming up. They could shift, but we'll see. For now, that's the plan. So for the rest of the day, I'm currently in my bathing suit because I'm gonna go do a cold plunge. I have not done a cold plunge in multiple months now, mostly because I have kind of been sick since moving into this new place. And as you saw in my New Year's video, I am a pretty strong advocate for cold exposure. I am like currently doing the Wim Hof method fundamentals course, and obviously cold exposure is a big part of that modality. And while I am a strong advocate for cold exposure and the benefits, I am also a strong advocate for not doing things like cold exposure that come with a lot of high physical stress if you don't feel like physically you're in a good place to do it. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you kind of want to tune into yourself and see what you're feeling and what's actually going to be most beneficial for your body. I personally have been pretty on the fence about it, but I told myself that I wanted to do it on New Year's Day to start the year off, and I've been kind of checking in with myself, and I think physically, it's not really where the resistance is coming in. I think it's a mental thing because it's been a while since I did it. It's also very cold up here compared to down in Vancouver where I normally do it. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that because I think that's how I want to start my year. There's also a chance that I'll show up and I'll just like let everyone else do the cold plunge if I change my mind. But right now I think it is more of like a mental resistance rather than a physical resistance. I feel much better. I actually feel like my body could probably use it. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're making the YouTube plan for January so that I can stick to that consistency without feeling like too much of my time and creative energy is going towards it. We're gonna go and do a cold plunge and or watch other people do a cold plunge. We'll see. And yeah, I kind of just want to take it easy, honestly. Good morning. It's currently 6 a.m. I woke up about half an hour ago. I've still been sticking to the whole waking up at 5:30 thing, which has actually been really nice. It's gotten easier. I still don't have any coffee, and I was gonna get some yesterday, but it was New Year's Day and everything was closed. So I have a hot yoga class at 6:45 this morning, so in 45 minutes. I'm gonna drive over to a cafe that's like right beside it and grab myself a coffee. I'm gonna bring my bullet journal and kind of just like do some planning for the day, maybe a little bit of actual journaling while I enjoy my coffee. Then I'm going to go to hot yoga, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to work on Between the Waves. My plan for today, but maybe that'll change, is to kind of like cycle through working on Between the Waves and then doing some cleaning. I started, as you saw yesterday, I basically pulled everything I own out of my closet, out from under my bed, out from everywhere that I have something stored, because my plan is to just basically go through everything, reorganize myself. I already have a pile of stuff that I want to get rid of, and yeah, kind of just do like a beginning of the year refresher, reset, clean. Okay, let's go to the cafe, get my morning coffee, and get the day started. So I did clean the room. I sorted through my like gear bin, so that's on track. But then it came time to write, and I'm very good at procrastinating, but also it started snowing, but like fluffy snow, and I don't think I'm gonna go to the gym today because I'm just like too sore to really do anything. But I still want to get outside, and it's snowing and magical right now, so I think I'm going to go for at least a quick snowy forest walk, and then maybe pick up a couple things for making candles, because I have leftover beeswax, so I wanted to use them to make some candles. And then I have a feeling the writing is going to be like an afternoon evening thing again once it gets dark, and I don't want to be outside anyways. But yeah, I think that's okay. Just like when it doesn't snow very often, and then everywhere that's exposed obviously gets covered in snow, but then there's little patches like where I'm standing right now, and I'm under a tree and there's no snow here, but then I'm obviously like surrounded by snow. I'm really glad I came outside. The end of the day Friday, and I have the final update, which is the update that I had hoped to get to by the end of this week, but I really wasn't sure if I was going to make it. I think I spent about 3 hours today working on Between the Waves. I had to figure out one more character's backstory before I felt like I could actually start on the new draft. There are a couple characters where like the backstories are still a little bit murky, but I also think that I need to discovery write. Like I can kind of feel that I'm gonna have to discovery write in order to get a bit more out of those ones specifically, but I have figured out the ones that I needed to figure out. I figured out the love interest's backstory, things tied in perfectly. I feel like I'm getting really lucky right now with the things that are working themselves out, but maybe it's not necessarily luck. Maybe it's the fact that I took a break and I've been working on this project for over 3 years, and I have put a lot of energy and thought and exploration into this project. So maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's just quite a few years of work paying off. Let's hope so. So Act 1 is pretty much figured out. There's a ton of new scenes and stuff for me to add. Most things are pretty much figured out, not everything, but like I said, everything that's left to figure out is mostly like discovery writing, I think. It's nothing major, which means that I now have everything I need to start the new draft. However, in order to get to this point, I now have a document that's basically draft 4 notes, and it's 10,025 words long. So I've written over 10,000 words into this document, and from those words, I have basically sorted out the majority of the issues and stuff that I was running into with the previous draft, and I've fixed so many things, and there are so many things to like work into this new draft, but I'm finally ready to like make the actual outline for the new draft. So my plan now is to basically go through all 10,000 words. I need to pick out scenes that are going to be new that need to be added. I need to figure out where they're going to go. I need to start to develop a more thorough outline, because right now what I have is like mostly point form notes. And then I also want to have like a section for any questions that I still am going to need answers for. But that's all going to go into the outline for draft 4, which we're almost ready to start. Now we just need to make the outline, like the official clean outline, and then we should be ready to go. So yeah, I'm gonna end this vlog here because I feel like it's a good spot to end it, and the next vlog is gonna be me taking this document and just like building it into an outline that I can actually use, which I don't think will take too long, and then I get to start on draft 4, and I'm very excited for that. So yeah, thank you for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope the shots of the snow brought you some peace, because I had a great time and I loved editing those, and it was just as beautiful as when I saw it in person. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope your projects are going well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.